take such vulnerable population to the road, and then there are people who are paid to come and beat them. You know, what that will do is that it will stop others from coming out. So whatever happened in Kisumu was something that was designed to make so many people wanted to come out, not come out.
We'll get to the Kisumu. We'll get to the Kisumu. Hakim, I think now you understand where we are. So, as much as the Constitution allows you the right to assemble and demonstrate, the Constitution also gives you a responsibility, because that right comes with a responsibility. Today, you are a business person in Kisumu. If we are journalists, if we say we're going to demonstrate today, when we have something, maybe we have a blackout, and we demonstrate today, and we go to the streets as journalists, and you have a shop in Kisumu, and you wake up tomorrow morning and you find your shop vandalized and nothing there, what will you think?
You know why I'm never scared of anybody that is demonstrating? Because whenever they are demonstrating and they've told me their lives, I will believe in their fight. And if they are required to go somewhere, and I believe in their fight, I personally close my business every time there's a demonstration.
You close it? Yeah,
close my business because I have to do as my fellow believers do.
Yes, you close it. Then you wake up tomorrow morning as you had closed it, and you find you.
Would you like to tell the journalists if they were in a peaceful procession? I'm going to the police station. You allow this to demonstrate. Why is my business?
Placing that responsibility.
The responsibility of security is the journalist cannot carry a club or a gun. The journalist only has a microphone and a camera.
So I breath back to you. Just hold that thought. Same breath back to you. You also have a show here in Kisumu.
Yes, I do.
We go on demonstration. Today, on demonstrating against this and this. And your shop is an open space. Where do you start?
You know that from 6 to 6.
Yes.
That is clearly explained in the Constitution. For reasons, they notify that we will start our procession from this time. The police should provide them the security so that they are not attacked. A situation where the demonstration has ended, the time has passed, that is now a criminal case.
But what if it's broken into when the journalists are still...
Same time protect. You know, the power to protect is... Who is failing, the demonstrators or the police?
I have said it is not their responsibility to take care of shops. Gen Z who is demonstrating comes in.
My responsibility is Gen Z who is demonstrating, and it's clear in your question. I am demonstrating.
Yes.
I am not going to interfere with the government. I do not have a problem with my name. There is no way I will leave my shop and I close it and then I come and tackle another person's shop. As a person who does business, I am not. So, and believe me, every time we go to the street, we as a group have come up, I can tell you for free, there is nobody who has ever, within the group.
That is what I was now coming to. How do you ensure? Because when you say an amorphous crowd is coming, you will say Gen Z is anyone who believes in their ideology. How do you verify? How do you vet the people who join the movement so that you know who you're working with? And so that you know you're not infiltrated by people who have other agendas.
Every time you are going for a demonstration, you don't just come out. There are people who volunteer themselves so that they can control the mass. So it doesn't matter how many we are, but even among us, there are those that who are willing. They are willing to just control the direction on where we should go and how we should go about it.
But those who are willing to control the direction, those are the people. Because you say that you are a leaderless group, that has a voice.
Who should we ask?
Yes.
Demonstrating. Then our responsibility ends with the demonstration. Any other person, be it from our group or from any other place, that we will be part of our cause. And we are not going to accept any responsibility. We are not going to. Some politician can just hire other people to come and join your demonstration into other people's businesses, and then you are expected to take responsibility. No. They should be prosecuted. They should be arrested.
No, I like what she has said. Anybody who breaks into a shop and does something is not part of your demonstration, but worked with you until they branched to do it.
They branched.
So how do you identify yourself?
They branched, they have stopped demonstrating. They have gone privy.
So who do we blame?
Has the resources of investigating and the police. That is why they
Yes, I have on video police boss Charles Obino saying something to the Gen Z.
Mnasaidia polisi kushika
wasindikize.
Mimi nimekuwa polisi over 30 years.
Yes.
Na polisi wanatoka nyumbani. Na hawa polisi msidanganywe. Si kama hawa politicians. Mnanipata?
Yes.
So they are your brothers. Ile kitu mnafanya mnahakikisha demonstration is
Peaceful.
Are you getting me? Ngoja tu tukisema for example leo wale wamama wanasema wanakuja town.
Yes.
Mnaenda kama hapo Central. Kama ni saa 4 mnatoka.
Yes.
Sasa mnaingia Kenyatta Avenue, mnaingia. Mnaenda Parliament, mnawakisha hizo candles. Mnapeana memorandum kwa nani? Kwa minister. Baada ya hiyo watu wa disperse na kila mtu aende kwao. Tutakuwa na shida gani? Na pia
Yes.
La kitu muhimu ni tuko na katiba nzuri.
Yes.
Katiba yetu inakubali baada ya miaka 5 tunabadilisha uongozi. Rais akifanya vizuri anarudishwa. Ngoja tu akifanya vibaya. So nyinyi kama vijana kitu muhimu ni muwe na kura yenu.
Yes.
Muwe obedient. Hata kama uko njaa kwenu, usikubali politician akupatie pesa aseme enda choma hii duka.
Yes.
Unanipata? Ama vijana na ndugu yako. Huyo polisi ni wanaweza kuwa ni mbaya, na hata kwa familia si watu wote ni wazuri. Unakuta kwa familia yenu kuna mtu mwizi, kuna mtu mzuri, kuna mtu mbaya. Ama namna gani wazee? So mimi ile kitu nasema kama vijana mjaribu sana muwe peaceful. Kama ni polisi watakosea nyinyi, itaonekana na dunia yote kwamba polisi wamekosea. Lakini kama ni haki kwa kikatiba kutembea na kuna mtu atakuja kukupiga hapa kama huna shida. Lakini ukianza kutupia gari mawe, hata hiyo gari kama ile gari ilichomwa juzi ni gari ya askari tu amechukua loan. Si mtu akawa na swali muulize.
Mimi ni swali.
Umesema vizuri. Acha tu kila mtu aulize.
Mr. Charles, mimi na maswali mawili. Tuko na vijana ambao wameuliwa, wameshutiwa hapa hivi. Na tunaona tuko na mpaka evidence wmechukuliwa, we have the videos ya kuonyesha nani amefanya hiki kitendo. Lakini ikienda kule mbele wakati wanapelekwa kotini wanasema hakuna evidence ya kuonyesha. For instance Mr. Charles,
acha nikujibu.
Tukiangalia sijamaliza.
Utauliza swali kubwa alafu nitasahau. Hiyo umeuliza kwanza, wacha nijibu. Ile haki ni kwamba case imekuwa investigated na ule officer amekamatwa amepelekwa kotini. Akifika pale kotini wamemshika ataenda kujitetea. Sasa ule hata judge hata prosecutor anatakikana ape si kesi mbaya, unasikia? So judge prosecutor akikosa kuprove case, uone mtu anauawa na mwenye anaua hiyo mtu akamatwi, hiyo ni
demos zenye tumekuwa nazo. Tulianza peacefully lakini goons wakaletwa. Tulikuwa tunaleta na right now
numbers are more and able to is come 2027. This regime has to go. It doesn't matter who is supporting it. It is not good for our country. It is not good for our children. It is not good for us.
Thank you, Hakim. I did want to ask you, I asked you about the same culture. Is it something that is going to...
As the Gen Zs, we are actually looking at the generation that is coming. We have children that are coming, and they are seeing what we are doing. There are some that the generation Alpha are seeing what we are doing, but we hope they don't have to fight like we are fighting. That is why every time I come out of my doorstep, I am going there, knowing very well. I usually even pray, because I know the kind of policeman that we have. I step out of my door, but before I step out, I pray. Because anything can happen. I am going to war. Why do I have to have the attitude of going to war? Because I know the policeman that we have. So every time I'm coming out of my house, I pray that, Lord, I am going. Whatever happens, happens, but please protect me.
On the same breath of whatever happens, happens. Just a simple question. Are you a parent?
No, I'm not.
You're not a parent. Are you a parent?
I am.
You are a parent. So I'll start with you. Today you wake up and your child, you go online and you find your child. Because Hakim was saying, when you're going out to go, whatever happens, happens. You wake up and your child has written a eulogy and said, tell my dad this and this and this. If I die, I die. Put yourself in those shoes.
You know, definitely, Thomas Sankara, the Zimbabwe president, once said that if you overcome your fear of death, then nothing else will ever scare you. At one point in our life, we will have to die. It will be a good thing dying for a worthy cause. I would really die happy knowing that I was fighting a right cause. I was fighting for my country. I was fighting for my children, not to live the way I've lived, not to live the way my parents live, but to live a life where they have a government that is able to listen to them. I will support my kids to go to the road if they have to, if they come of age.
And if they come back in a coffin?
There is no problem.
Wow.
If they come back in a coffin, then if they were fighting a right cause, I will bury them with dignity. I will bury them with my, even me personally, if I go and die, I don't care what will happen to me. I will be there. But the point is, I will have died fighting something. It's better you die fighting than bend your knees, start worshipping for development from the State House. Something that is being done with your taxes, the money from your pocket. So
we get it, we understand. You will not even panic when your child writes a eulogy and they go to demonstrate.
I will support them. And I will tell them,
look, wait first, you will tell them, we understand. Meaning, you have gone to the streets, you have lost your inmates, you have lost people you know. Things have been destroyed, people you know have lost businesses. But you will still not mind if your children went. When is the end of this thing? When shall we have a place where we can speak as a people?
The answer rests with the current government.
But the current government will not be there forever.
They will not be, but we are fighting the current government because we are living within the current government.
So the current government that we are
My
fighting,
biggest problem
who
right now
voted in that government?
My biggest problem is the current government.
Who voted that government?
You know, when I understand journalists, you like to understand. But when you speak, you try and speak like a person living in Kenya.
Yes, I'm living in Kenya. No, I'm actually being very logical because I live in Kenya and I know that we had elections in 2022.
And it was voted in.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole government, not just the president, right from the MCA, it was voted in, right?
I personally voted for the competitor. But deep down, I knew the promises that he made were better than the promises that the other person made. He was so convincing. You could stand there, you could look at him and you are like, this guy will take us places. You remember when he went to France and he gave a speech? I was like, why did I not vote for this guy? Why is it that 2 years down the line, the only feeling that I have is anger?
No, that's
And what has changed?
You know,
Yeah.
those are normal things. Expectations are there in life, right? Expectations are there in life. I'd like us to finish up with this so that we go back to the yesterday's demonstration in just a few before we finish. Because a clip was played when they were fixing sound that someone said that they cannot go to the streets and no one else will demonstrate because of this and this. I'd like us to finish up with this so that we go back. But what is the solution? Because I believe if we start going to the streets today, we should have a solution tomorrow, at least not in the immediate tomorrow, but in the near future, so that this issue of having to go to the streets always does not come.
Let me answer you, Karen.
Yes.
I 100% believe that our problem is
The political class that were voted in by them.
the people don't vote in, let's just go step by step.
Yes.
I highly believe we have a political class that continues to recycle themselves, that anytime there's a new crop of leadership that wants to come, we stifle them. That is why they are sending goons to come and stifle demonstrations in places such as Kisumu, because they believe there are people who are supposed to be speaking for Kisumu, and our voices are independent from the person that is supposed to speak.
Thank you, independent voices. Bernard, just a simple question. They said politicians are being recycled. True or false?
That's very true.
Very true. Who recycles them?
You know,
Well, let's not go far. Currently, you come from Nyakach.
yes.
Where do you vote? In Kisumu or in
I vote in
Nyakach?
Kisumu.
You vote in Kisumu.
Yes.
Which particular polling station? Who is your
Sports
MP?
ground. My MP is Joshua Ron.
Joshua Ron.
Yes.
First time.
They are in Kisumu Central. It's always a one party.
Okay, where do you vote?
I vote in Nyando.
Nyando.
Yes.
Hey, thank you. Who was your MP the
My
last
MP.
year?
But
Not in 2022.
The other year,
Yes.
this guy is me to death, I swear I don't remember.
Who is your current MP?
This guy that speaks too much English.
So you,
There's nothing he does, he does.
okay. You come from Nyando constituency? Who is your MCA?
My MCA is an independent.
Who is your MCA?
Unfortunately, though I didn't vote for him, but my MCA is Adwinya.
Adwinya.
Yes.
Your MCA is Adwinya.
Yes.
For the what time?
It's a first time.
A first time
Yeah.
MCA.
Mhm.
Okay. Jerry Dodoyo Okello is your MP.
My MCA is called Collins. He's a young man. And he won independent.
Jerry Dodoyo Okello is not your MP.
I was talking about the MCA.
The MCA. Jerry Dodoyo Okello is your MP. He's a re-elected MP. It is not his first time in Parliament. Politicians bore you to death. So did they start boring you to death in 2022 after the elections, after re-electing your MP or before?
I don't mean to speak about my selection, but I'm proud of myself because the people I selected in the ballot boxes, most of them didn't win, beginning from the president. I have a funny way of getting
Okay,
characters,
so what-
and I believe in my character selection. I've selected the proper characters to lead me from the bottom of the barrel
So if
to the
you
top.
do not know your current MP's name, how do you know that you're not character assassinating him if you don't even know him and he is in for a second term?
Because I know what is in this film. They know very well. that it's
No, this is an honest conversation now.
Yeah.
Usijitete, ujui MP wako. Let's just be very honest. You do not know
I
your
know him.
MP's name.
I know him, but I don't know his name.
So people voted him in a second time. He's been re-elected. And you didn't know his name. And you did not vote for him. So do you really know him as a person? Can you tell us of his character?
If my neighbor decides to choose you over him as a person who protects his rights, and then I don't agree with it, but then he's the one who chose you, and then he comes and tells me, Akim, this guy that I chose, I know I voted for him, but there's nothing he's doing. Then he explains to me, because I'm a learned person. When a fellow learned person explains to me in detail of what is happening, believe me, I will believe in whatever he's saying. I will follow him, and I will help him critique whoever it is that is disappointing him after electing him.
Okay. So I think we are now getting to the bottom of this. That one is re-elected. I understand Kisumu Central is a little bit tricky. We cannot talk about it, but we can talk about Nakati. Joshua Adumo Owuor has been re-elected how many times?
It's a third time in.
Third time in.
Yes.
Re-elected by the same people. Age group inakuja inamvotia tu, si ndio? So when we talk of recycling leaders as a problem in Kenya, whose problem is it? Is it the problem of the political class?
But let me just say this, because the politicians are conniving. I don't know why.
But they are not. They go to the voting centers as individuals.
By the time people are doing the applicants, where the applicants are going to hand in their names for applying for different seats. There's any person that doesn't know that there are regions that party politics have held hostage for the past 3 election years is not living in Kenya. We've been held hostage by party politics. That nobody ever looks at who is buying, they are looking at the symbol. You are being told, pick as one symbol as you go, because they want more seats. They've done it.
So you're saying the citizens of Kenya have been recycling leaders because the leaders have been recycling themselves.
The citizens of Kenya have been recycling leaders because they have a small pool of selection.
A small pool of selection.
Yes.
Okay. What do you agree with the same? So that we know whether we are done to move on.
In a democracy, it's unfortunately it's a problem we have to live with. That the power of majority, that is what drives politics. The many people, it doesn't matter whether they listen or not, so long as they have approved somebody, that person will be elected and even re-elected. There are some people who have been elected and re-elected many times, and they have hardly done anything to their constituents. And that is a very big problem. So I think as a new generation, we are also striving at doing what we call public education on how to select good leaders. We are not going to select people who are coming, how do I call them, like con artists. People come with sweet things. I'm going to build Rome in Kisumu, and then 1 year into it, you can't even see anything sensible they've done. So as a generation, we must be able to sieve see through the lies they're giving us. And then we also have another advantage which has not been used, but I think we should be able to use it. The ability to recall a sitting MP or a sitting governor. The people can decide to collect signatures and then officially recall the MP if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And that is the same thing that is happening now. People of Kenya are coming out to recall the president. We gave you the votes.
But that is not that is not the proper channel to record of sitting president.
You know, when something is hurting you, when something is hurting any part of your body, it doesn't matter which method you use, so long as it is removed out of your body. So the proper channel is to communicate to our MPs, which were pocketed. You listen to them speak, you wonder like, what is this guy saying? So we cannot use the proper channel because the MPs have been pocketed. Some of them were bought when President Ruto had not even been sworn in.
When we talked of buying, let's just hold
so
it there.
Those are not people who are going to trust to speak on our behalf.
Let us hold it there because next year we are having general election. In 2027, it's the other year. Yes, and we have an opportunity to actually choose leaders. And we will be watching the Gen Zs, by the way, because this is the time that we will have the most, we are hoping to have the most young people voting. As we are hoping to have the most young people voting, what are you doing as a generation to make sure that haitafika hiyo time hamna kura?
Right.
As the people who are very determined and are very angry with this government.
Right.
Yes.
You have to vote.
You do.
The problem is we never did turn up.
Whose problem is that?
The problem is
Yes.
it's Kenya's problem because we would have already had changes coming long time ago. The problem is we never really turn up. The frustration this government has taken us through, the lies they are peddling, oh Gen Zs don't vote, oh Gen Zs don't come out, don't expect anything different. Let them continue telling themselves that and let them lie on it and sleep. Because believe me, when 2027 comes, you will wonder where those votes have come from.
Bernard, Gen Z sympathizer, Gen Z at heart. What are you doing to make sure that the Gen Zs will be able to be in the ballot come next year?
Unfortunately, this coming election will mostly be determined by the millennials. Okay, data has it that the Gen Z were around 15% in the last general election. And it is expected that by the next general election they will be around 26%, while millennials will be around 43%. So if Gen Zs and millennials come together, they form around over 65%. They have the ability to put in parliament leaders they want.
In that same formation, and that ability. Now that you've confirmed that the Gen Zs have voted, will actually turn up, and you're mobilizing for that.
Yes.
Very credible information and sources say that most of you have mobilizers have, we don't like to use the word vote, but have been compromised. True or false? Yes or no? Just from Hakim.
I cannot explain, I have just said
Yes or no? Compromised leaders, compromised influencers of the Gen Z?
I believe.
Yes, no? Yes. Compromised? Yes, no?
It's a no.
It's a no.
Yes.
So they've not been compromised, they have been compromised. This one is an actual Gen Z, you are a millennial. So we are going to be a little biased on that one. So we've been compromised. We're really trying to rush because of time. So in this certain instance now, as we're going forward, now that we've said we need change, you've brought it out so clearly. What are you going to do differently to ensure that properties are not lost without involving the police? Because the numbers that come out and the police that come out cannot, it's logical. They cannot be able to take care of all those people. It is logical. So what are you going to do differently in less than a minute?
First of all, I want the police to do something different. The police hurl tear gas, the things that they are supposed to use to control offenders, to move them away from certain buildings or certain roads. They are using the resources that they are supposed to be using to protect, they are using them against the demonstrators. A policeman throws a canister inside a group of demonstrators who are within the bounds of where they say they will be.
So in less than a minute, what will you do differently as Gen Zs in the coming, let's just say, year or years?
We will turn up to demonstrate and expect the police to come and
What will you do differently, Bernard?
Okay, one of the problems we have had in terms of demonstration, not only this demonstration, but it's like something that has been there for over the years. We have a police force with a very colonial mind. The police force have been trained with only one thing in their mind, that anybody demonstrating is supposed to be attacked. So this one has to change. We have to have policemen who knows that people can actually peaceably demonstrate and they can be protected and people can go back home without somebody being killed. The police must be able to start protecting lives of demonstrators. Recently, people are demonstrating because somebody was arrested and then killed in police cell. This is the mentality of colonial police training.
Okay. You have less
where
than
they only,
10 seconds.
I think you will have to add me another few seconds. Because this has to come out. The police must start protecting you. Because these people are also fighting for them, they are also fighting for their children. We live with them in the neighborhood. When they go to buy sugar at a very exorbitant price, we buy the same sugar. So there is nothing that benefiting from this rogue regime. This regime that is using them to hurt us is also hurting them indirectly. They need to start protecting lives, and Gen Zs and any millennials and anybody who believes in the agenda should be able to come out and protest.
Thank you for that sentiment. But also remember, we saw a police officer was even robbed of their uniform in a clip a few minutes ago. It's unfortunate because of time we will not be able to discuss the rogue elements that infiltrate that. But in the same breath, before we just finish, just in 1 minute each, the CS not interior, yes. Today, we heard him say that those who turned up for demonstration are terrorists. That is a direct quote. What comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind?
Yes.
Somebody afraid of me in my room because I am doing something that I don't expect to do. I am turning up. No, I am turning up and I'm speaking to them and they expect me to fear them and I don't.
Hard. What comes to your mind?
Maybe we will repeat the question. I was a little bit distracted because you know, when the first protest happened on June 25, 2024, the president himself stood in front of the cameras and accused Gen Zs of being doing what we call Prisoners Act. Today, a minister or a CS for Interior is also accusing the same individuals of terrorism. Now, this is the same government that could not allow people to assemble. Whenever you tried to come up in a group, they would disperse you. This is the same government that went ahead to switch off live broadcast for all the media stations in Kenya. This is the same government that was protecting goons who are attacking demonstrators. Who was terrorizing who? Was the government terrorizing its people or the people terrorizing the government? We know, you know, a government like the one we have in Kenya, they are the only people who have monopoly over violence. demonstrators were just carrying flags and their smartphone. How do you call such a person a terrorist? We have videos of even children of police officers. There's a video of a police officer who met her son in demonstration. So how do you call that a person a terrorist? You know, this government has a way of belittling things.
Let us just hold it there for a moment. For context, the CS Interior, Honorable Onesimus Kipchumba Murkomen today said that those who went to the street were terrorists who caused chaos and several other things that he said. But let's also not forget that yesterday as the demonstrations were going on, he left his office, went and met the demonstrators, so the terrorists, and took some selfies with them, talked to a few of them, was escorted by the police, and then today he said that those were terrorists. We will not get into that until he has the right of reply, so we will not talk about him, we will just talk about the Gen Zs. As we are finishing, this is probably the last question, your parting shot, and whether the protest will go on or we wait until next year.
As a resident of Kisumu,
Yes.
I'm very disappointed because we've been denied the right to do what we wanted to do as enshrined in the Constitution by the people that support somebody who they say is the father of democracy, is the person who gave us these rights. So he gave us these rights so that we cannot practice them today. So I am very disappointed. I am very disappointed in the influencers. You called them here, they refused to come because they are cowards. A representative of them was called here and refused to come because they are cowards. He doesn't want to face us, he doesn't want divergent views. The only thing they know is to yap online. So, as a parting shot, I am disappointed, but it's good when they attack first. They can win the party, but the war is not over. The demonstrations are not over.
So we wait for June 2025, 2026?
No, don't wait that long.
And
And also don't wait. It will come when it will come.
Okay.
Okay.
Bernard, parting shot?
the incident that happened in Kisumu is very unfortunate. Most of us wanted to come out to demonstrate, but we got intel that a group of up to 50 people had been paid handsomely by individuals in the government to ensure that nobody goes to the street in Kisumu.
That one we cannot verify.
Okay, you get it from me. These individuals, even publicly in social media, posted videos threatening violence against anybody. One of them is was an aspirant, an MC
No,
aspirant.
we actually played the video. What
Yes.
I'm saying we cannot
So-
verify is the
so-
payment. The threats we can verify this way.
So these people threatened us, and you know, it is very stupid. It's not bravery to go on demonstration and face people who have been paid to come and harm you. It is not bravery, it is actually stupidity. So our right to demonstrate was affected by people who are paid not to allow us to demonstrate. Whatever picture they wanted to bring out, it may have succeeded. But what we tell them is that going to the road is just one way of airing our views. We have digital platforms, we can continue advocating for what we want. We can continue demonstrating online. It has been proven over and again that the power in the digital platform is not a power to be joked with. We will continue to advocate for what we believe is right, and what we believe is right is that this regime has to go. Anything but not this regime.
Thank you very much. Thank you also very much, dear viewers and listeners, for tuning in. I can see Omolodon, Brian Jobita, Caroline Atieno, Maureen Achien, Collins Onyuka. Thank you so much. And those that did not comment, so we may not be able to get your names, we thank you so much for tuning in and for contributing to this conversation. This is a topic that we may not be able to exhaust in a day. We also may not be able to do it as exhaustively as we would have wanted to. But this is a conversation that we will keep going, so that the anger that Hakim has and the other struggles that the other parts of the Gen Zs have can finally be heard, so that either the other generations can join them or maybe give them a way forward if there's a better way. All we hope for as a people is that the country, Kenya, may find a solution to all its problems. Until then, stay safe. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in. We also do not forget to thank Museum View Hotel for hosting us today. We hope to have several of these shows. Until then, I'm Uvalin Ngori. Thank you.